Good morning, dear students. Today, in this module, we will discuss revision of chapter 3 Atoms and Molecules. Earlier, we have studied this chapter in detail. Now, we will discuss this chapter in brief. So, let's move to the topic atoms and molecules. Students, as you know, sugar, salt, sand, diamond, graphite, copper, wood, rocks, minerals, food, fabrics are all different kinds of matter. In Hindi, matter is called Padarth. An Indian philosopher Maharishi Kanad said that if we go on dividing matter, we will get smaller and smaller particles of matter. Ultimately, we will get the smallest particle of matter which cannot be divided any further. So students, based on this philosophy, Kanad was one of the first person to propose that matter is made up of very small particles called Parmanu. Another one, John Dalton, called these particles by the name of atom. The word atom means indivisible, means something which cannot be divided further. After that, another Indian philosopher, Pakhuda Katayama, went a step further and proposed that the particles of matter normally exist in a combined form, and various combination of particles give us various kinds of matter. This combined form of atoms is now called molecules. So, we now know that all matter is made up of small particles called atoms and molecules. Different kinds of atom and molecules have different properties, due to which different kinds of matter also show different properties. Thus, the properties of matter depend on the properties of atoms and molecules from which it is made. Okay. We will now describe the laws of chemical combination established by experiments which confirm the idea of atoms being the smallest particle of matter. Laws of chemical combination. There are three important laws of chemical combination, and these are: first, law of conservation of mass; second, law of constant proportions; and third, law of multiple proportions. The laws of chemical combination are the experimental laws which have been formulated by scientists after performing a large number of experiments involving various types of chemical reactions. And these experimental laws ultimately led to the idea of atoms being the smallest unit of matter. In fact, the law of chemical combination played a significant role in the development of Dalton's atomic theory of matter. So, students, in this class, we will study only two laws of chemical combination, that is, the law of conservation of mass and the law of constant proportions. The third law of chemical combination, the law of multiple proportions, will be studied in higher classes. So first is law of conservation of mass. In the 18th century, scientists noticed that if they carried out a chemical reaction in a closed container, then there was no change of mass. This preservation of mass in a chemical reaction led to the formulation of the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass was given by Lavoisier in 1774. According to him, or we can say according to the law of conservation of mass, matter is neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. The substances which combine together or react in a chemical reaction are known as reactants, whereas the new substances formed or produced as a result of chemical reaction are called products. The law of conservation of mass means that in a chemical reaction, the total mass of products is equal to the total mass of reactants. There is no change in mass during a chemical reaction. Okay. Since there is no gain or loss in mass in a chemical reaction, the mass remains conserved. Student, please note that the term total mass of reactants and products includes solid, liquids and gases, including air, that are a part of the reaction. The law of conservation of mass will become clear from the following example. We can verify the law of conservation of mass in the laboratory by taking known masses of two chemicals. Chemicals means reactants, allowing them to react by mixing them, and then finding the masses of the products formed. There should be no change in the mass. Students, this will become more clear from the following experiment, in which we will carry out a chemical reaction between barium chloride and sodium sulfate to form barium sulfate and sodium chloride. So, first take a clean conical flask fitted with a rubber cork and a small test tube having a long thread tied to its neck. All these things are weighed together on a sensitive balance to find the initial mass of this apparatus. Okay, now let us perform the experiment now. Take some sodium sulfate solution in a conical flask and some barium chloride solution in an ignition tube. Hang the ignition tube in the flask by a thread and put a cork on the flask. Find the mass of the flask on a balance. After that, tilt the flask. A chemical reaction takes place and sodium chloride and barium sulfate are formed. Then find the mass of the flask again. It will be seen that the sum of the masses of reactants and products remain unchanged. So, this experiment verifies the law of conservation of mass. Okay. Now, our next topic is law of constant proportions. The law of constant proportions was given by Proust in 1779. He analyzed the chemical composition, means type of elements present and percentage of elements present. So he analyzed the chemical composition of a large number of compounds and came to the conclusion that the proportion of each element in a compound is constant, means fixed. Based on these observations, Proust formulated the law of constant proportions. According to the law of constant proportions, a chemical compound always consists of the same elements combined together in the same proportion by mass. This law means that whatever be the source from which it is obtained or the method by which it is prepared, a pure chemical compound is always made up of the same element in the same mass percentage. For example, water is a compound which always consists of the same two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, combined together in the same constant proportions of 1:8 by mass, means 1 part by mass of hydrogen and 8 parts by mass of oxygen. Let us discuss this in a little more detail. We know that water is a compound. If we decompose 100 grams of pure water by passing electricity through it, then 11 grams of hydrogen and 89 grams of oxygen are obtained. Okay. Now, if we repeat this experiment by taking pure water from different sources like river, sea, well, etc., the same masses of hydrogen and oxygen elements are obtained in every case. So, this shows that water always consists of the same two elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen, combined together in the same constant proportions of 11:89, or we can say 1:8 by mass. And this is the law of constant proportions. Let us take another example to illustrate the law of constant proportion. Ammonia. Ammonia is a compound. It has been found by analysis that ammonia always consists of the same two elements, that is nitrogen and hydrogen, combined together in the same ratio of 14:3 by mass. Clear? Now, Dalton's atomic theory. The theory that all matter is made up of very tiny indivisible particles, we can say atoms, is called atomic theory of matter. Dalton put forward his atomic theory of matter in 1808. The various postulates of Dalton atomic theory of matter are as follows. First, all matter is above very tiny particles called atoms. Second, atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Atoms of a given element are similar in mass and properties. Atoms of different elements have different masses and properties. Fifth, atoms combine in a small whole number ratios to form compound. Last, in a given compound, the relative number and kind of atoms are constant. Students, Dalton's atomic theory was based on the laws of chemical combination. For example, the postulate of Dalton's atomic theory that atoms can neither be created nor destroyed was the result of law of conservation of mass given by Lavoisier. And the postulate of Dalton's atomic theory that the element consists of atoms having fixed mass and that the number and kind of atoms in a given compound is fixed came from the law of constant proportions given by Proust. So, Dalton's atomic theory was the first modern attempt to describe the behavior of matter in terms of atoms. This theory was also used to explain the laws of chemical combination in terms of atoms. Dalton's atomic theory provides a single explanation for the law of chemical combination. First, the postulates of Dalton atomic theory that the elements consist of atoms and that atoms can neither be created nor destroyed can be used to explain the law of conservation of mass. Second, the postulates of Dalton atomic theory that the elements consist of atoms having fixed mass and that the number and kind of atoms of each element in a given compound is fixed can be used to explain the law of constant proportions. Okay. Now, students, come to the solution of homework of chapter 3. Let's move to the question and answer. Question first. In a reaction, 5.3 gram of sodium carbonate reacted with 6 gram of ethanoic acid. The products were 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide and 0.9 gram water. Show that these observations are in agreement with the law of conservation of mass. Sodium carbonate plus ethanoic acid is equal to sodium ethanoate plus carbon dioxide plus water. The solution is, according to reaction, first sodium carbonate and ethanoic acid are reactants. So, mass of reactants is equal to mass of sodium carbonate plus mass of ethanoic acid is equal to 5.3 plus 6 and the answer is 11.3 gram. So, the mass of reactants is equal to 11.3 gram. Second, sodium ethanoate, carbon dioxide and water are products. So, mass of products is equal to mass of sodium ethanoate plus mass of carbon dioxide plus mass of water is equal to 8.2 plus 2.2 plus 0.9. So, mass of products is equal to 11.3 gram. So, students, we find that the mass of reactants is 11.3 gram and the mass of products is 11.3 gram. Since the mass of products is equal to the mass of reactants, the given data verifies that the law of conservation of mass. Now let's move to the question number 2. That is, which postulates of Dalton's atomic theory is the result of the law of conservation of mass? The answer is the postulate of Dalton's atomic theory, which says that atoms can neither be created nor destroyed in chemical reactions, is the result of the law of conservation of mass. Okay.